All right, we're going to get right into it. I know that a lot of people say like they play a long game and Trump plays 5D chess, and I think I'm kind of getting this figured out as I keep unwinding this vaccine stuff and all this CDC and the lies they've been telling us, okay? So at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my opinion on it. But first, what I want to do is roll this clip here of Robert Kennedy Jr. letting you guys know that the CDC back in 1999 fudged all these tests so they could keep administering the death jabs. Roll the tape.
What you would do if you wanted to find the answer, which is to compare outcomes in a fully vaccinated group to health outcomes in an unvaccinated group. And CDC did that study in 1999. They brought in a team of scientists under a Belgian researcher named Thomas Verstraeten, and they looked at the data. They looked at children who had received the hepatitis vaccine within the first 30 days of life and compared those children to children who had received the vaccine later or not at all. And they found an 135% elevated risk of autism among the vaccinated children. And it shocked them. They kept the study secret, and then they manipulated it through 5 different iterations to try to bury the link. And, you know, we know how they did it. They got rid of all the older children, essentially, and just had younger children who were too young to be diagnosed. And they stratified the data, and they did a lot of other tricks. And all of those studies were the subject of that kind of trickery.
1,135%? You got to be kidding me. Man, and we're just like blindly following these lab coats with glasses as authorities, and they're literally trying to take us out. I'm going to show you guys a clip of Dr. Emanuel. I don't know if you guys remember her or not, but during COVID, she was very much speaking out against all the stuff. They silenced her, kicked her off her platform, tried to de-doctor her and all this kind of a stuff. But here she is on the Matt Gaetz podcast or whatever, news show or whatever, and she's talking about how RFK Jr. is actually still dancing around the COVID-19 jab. And by the way, it's still available to be stuck into your kids every single day. And they've already fast-tracked 2 new mRNA vaccines. But don't go anywhere, because at the end of this, I think I've kind of figured out what's going on, why they're exposing so much of this stuff. Roll the tape.
You warned about the mRNA vaccine. What is your take on the recent actions from Secretary Kennedy?
I think that they're playing with us, because everybody's talking about the mRNA vaccine and how dangerous it is. And then Secretary Kennedy, we put him there because we thought he was going to stand against all these vaccines. And then he's trying to kind of give us like I don't know, what he's saying doesn't even make sense. That, you know, they are doing studies that can make mRNA work. You know what I'm saying? There's no good mRNA vaccines. They should have taken that thing off the market. I'm telling you, Matt, right now, they are talking about Fruit Loops and colorful stuff like that. Yes, we want to make Fruit Loops great again. But the elephant in the room is the mRNA vaccine that is hurting people. And Secretary Kennedy needs to stop dancing around the point. I don't know what's going on with him, whether he's been caged or whether he's being threatened, but he's dancing around something that is killing the American people. And we in the frontline doctors, we're not happy about this.
And y'all, that RFK thing it's corruption. It's just criminal what they're doing and how they're doing it, okay? And I think it needs to have a lot of attention on it. You guys need to share this video with your friends. And now I'm going to, this is just my opinion, all right? This is strictly just my opinion. First, when they're doing bad things, they always have to tell you what's going on, okay? It's like a karma for them, all right? They slow drip it out, you get little bits of truth. But right now we're being flooded and inundated, especially from Robert Kennedy Jr., about vaccines and about the studies and how they fudge the numbers, and just on it's going, okay? Because I believe that they're gonna phase out jabs, and then they're going to start either with pills, I've already seen some vaccine pills, or they're gonna go on with this biometric chip data garbage where you're wearing a wearable, you know, a Fitbit or something like that that monitors your whole body health, and then they're going to be able to administer, this is crazy, stuff to you because you're hooked up to the Internet of Things. okay? Please do your research on the Internet of Things. Sabrina Wallace does a really good job talking about it. Her grandfather was actually in on the program. She has the old manuals, y'all. So you can hunt her down. She's been blown off social media as well, but you can find her on Rumble, and a lot of people post her stuff. I've posted her stuff several different times. But I believe truly, like my spidey senses are telling me, they're exposing all this stuff so they could turn you from the injections to other types of administration. Like they can do it other different ways, especially with these frequencies. And that's just my opinion. But there's some reason why this is all coming out. He says one thing and then he fast tracks other things, right? And all they're talking about is Fruit Loops and, you know, dyes and, you know, Smuckers and all this stuff. And we still have to wait like 2 years for him to remove those dyes from your products. When they're already making, go look this stuff up, the factories, let's say Kellogg's, okay, already makes European stuff without the chemicals at the same factories. All they have to do is make it all the same. So there's some kind of a reason why they're slow rolling the fixes. And this vaccine stuff and this other injectables, I just think that they're going to try to fade away from that, because like Monsanto was getting such a bad rap that Bayer swooped in and bought them because everyone was familiar with Monsanto and glyphosate and class action lawsuits and Roundup. That's how they operate, okay? And I'm just one man, just dumb old Doug living off grid, doing my thing, non-fluoridated, and I just kind of see that's where it's going, okay? Now I'm gonna leave you guys with this clip of Jesse Ventura. All right, very interesting clip. Thanks a lot for showing up to the live show last night. Every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time here on YouTube, we have a live show. Stacy and I try to talk about some, well, this month in June, it's been health stuff. And then we gotta just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Sometimes they last an hour, sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little shorter. But if you missed that episode, make sure you go check it out, because there's a reason why you're chronically ill, and I don't think you understand. Some people don't understand what it is, and it has a lot to do with what we talked about last night. So go back to the live show last night, check it out, and here's this clip of Jesse Ventura. Please take care of yourselves out there. Stay vigilant, okay? Stay vigilant, spiritually fit, right? And start taking matters into your own hands, right? Roll the tape.
Politics today is pro wrestling. It is pro wrestling. And you know what I mean by that? I mean by that the Dems and Repubs in front of you and in front of the public is going to tell how they hate each other and how they're different. But as soon as the cameras go off in the back room, they're all going out to dinner together. And they're all buddies cutting deals. It's just like pro wrestling. In front of the public, we hate each other. We're going to rip our heads off. But in the locker room, we're all friends.
Are you suggesting professional wrestling is fake?
I'm suggesting politics is fake.
And you're still here. You want all the information. All those clips were fabulous. But I want you guys to do your homework, and thanks for hanging to the very end of the video. Go look up who Tucker Carlson's dad is. Why is he from the CIA? That makes everything Tucker's doing suspect, in my opinion, right? But just go look up who his dad was and what he did for the government, and it might be shocking to you. You may have never heard this before, all right? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next video.